Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, we are going to be going over our April finances to include our April financial goals and tasks that we're looking to complete, as well as our actual monthly income, our actual expenses, and I'm also going to be sharing with you some updates that I've made to our budget planner or our financial planner or our finances in general. So if that is of interest to you, then please keep watching. Okay, so I thought we would start out by me just kind of taking you guys through my thought process when it comes to our finances. I feel like I do this every now and again, but I want to take a deep dive into it today, and I'm going to share some updates that I've made to our finances. So I'm going to share my screen now, and you should be seeing at this very moment my Google Calendar. So I like to think that what events and plans that we have for April dictate how much money we can spend in the month of April. So this is my philosophy for every month, but of course today we're talking about April. So I want to kind of walk you through what April is looking like. Of course, if you want to see my April plan with me and all of the plans that we have for April, come back in a few days when we're closer to April, where I will be sharing a April plan with me, setting up my planner. So if you take a look at this, and if you start with April and kind of disregard all of March, then you see that on the 1st, we have an adult game night. So I have bought us tickets for this. Now, unfortunately, I found out about it $5 too late. So had I bought the early bird tickets, it would have been $5 each, but I didn't make it in time. I didn't discover the event in time. So it's gonna be $10 a piece. I have already purchased our tickets. To me, that's just gonna be our date night for that week. And so I've already bought the tickets in March, and in April we'll show up. I know there's gonna be like a spades tournament and all kind of stuff, but we've never attended anything of this sort. So I don't really know what to expect, but let's just say maybe we're gonna spend the same amount that we might spend every other week when we do date night, which could be anywhere from honestly free to about $100. I'm assuming maybe we might go to dinner before or something, and maybe we might spend a little money while we're there. So let's just say, that's gonna be a $50 to a $100 event. I'm not really sure, but that is about what I would budget for that. So each week we try to do a date night, and I try to find cheap and free events, or my husband tries to find cheap or free events, or he'll send me events, or I'll send him events to see what his thoughts are. But we try to do cheap stuff and free stuff. That's my preferred way of just doing life, cheap and free. So that's the first. But then you see the next week, starting on the 3rd, my husband and I both have off of work because we work in public education, and so that's going to be our spring break. As of right now, while you see a lot of things on this calendar, none of them really, only few of them actually require money. Otherwise, they're just activities that we have and events that we have on here, even if they don't really require money. So for spring break, the only thing I'm anticipating is that maybe we might go to our little breakfast spot a little more. And when we go there, it's high quality food for relatively cheap. And when we go there, we normally spend $10 for breakfast. So we may go there a couple of times to get out of cooking breakfast. But otherwise, even if we're off work, because we don't buy food at work, we don't buy our lunch, we should still spend, in theory, the same amount of money that we would spend if we were going to work. So I'm not anticipating, any huge expenses when it comes to food and stuff like that for the week of spring break. However, we are going to be going to Atlanta, which is a hop, skip, and a jump away for a Hawks versus Wizards game. Yes. And I'm anticipating that being our date night for that week. So let's say we buy gas to get there and back, which is going to be a full tank, and then we might pay for parking because we already have the tickets, and maybe we might go get some food beforehand. But it's definitely going to be a day trip. So that's kind of how I look at that. I'm also going to Jacksonville, Florida in the month of April. I had a friend recently move there, and so a number of our childhood friends are going to get together and go visit her. I actually love Jacksonville. I've been there many times before. So we're going to go visit her. I am going to drive there. I'm going to stay with her and the rest of them. So I anticipate that trip being a couple $100. If you keep moving along, you'll see a snack and sip with with all equal parts on the 12th, and that's an event that I want us to go to that's inexpensive, but I haven't booked the tickets yet or purchased the tickets yet, so I don't really know what that's going to look like, but that could be our date night for that week. I'm also going to have a friend day. Actually, I didn't put that in here yet. I'm going to have a friend day on the 14th through the 16th with one of my friends, because that's the weekend she's available. She's a new mom, and long story short, she kind of tells me when she's available, and then we hang out and I make time around her schedule. So she told me the 14th through the 16th, which my husband and I are going to go to this festival the 14th through the 16th, but it is free, but we may have to spend some money on, you know, some food and stuff when we get there. I don't know, I've never been. So I am anticipating a friend date that week, as well as a date with my husband, but again, the event is free. We just may spend $20, $30 or so whenever we go, and it's that time frame, so I don't know when we're actually going to go, but that's another thing coming up, so I like to take that into consideration. Also, I'm going away for work for a conference, and so I'm not really anticipating spending a whole lot of money for that. The conference is paid for, our hotel is booked, I'm going to ride with my coworker, and so the only thing I'll have to come out of pocket for potentially is excess regarding per diem. So they're going to give us a per diem amount for our meals and stuff, but if I go over that, I may have to come out of pocket. But essentially, that's not anything major. And then I'm going to a planner meetup, which I bought the tickets for a long time ago, and then we are going to see Lil Wayne, which the tickets were quite expensive for that. But honestly, I think I've seen Lil Wayne in concert, I've lost count, but it's anywhere between 12 and 15 times. So if I'm being honest, the Lil Wayne date night is a non-negotiable. So we're gonna go see Lil Wayne. We've already bought the tickets, and we have currently $90 in credit card points. My hope is that we can get to like 120 before it's time to book the hotel, because right now we could book a hotel, but honestly it's going to have us on the outskirts of Atlanta, and I want to be a little closer perhaps if we can. So hopefully that'll take place. So we're going to go there, we're going to stay the night, we will probably have to purchase food, maybe a dinner and a lunch, and we will board our dog during that time. So that will be an extra expense. Although now that I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of interested in asking my mother-in-law to look after the dog for, you know, that time period, so that we potentially may not have to board her. Although I do like boarding her because she is an only dog here in our home, and it gives her an opportunity to interact with other dogs. So if we board her, it will be $30. But like I said, I'm thinking about my mother-in-law or something, or one of my friends looking after her. But either way, as of right now, we have our hotel ticket. We have our tickets. We need to book the hotel, which currently it will be free. It's just that with $90, we're going to be on the outskirts, and I'm trying to get more points so we can be not on the outskirts. And then we'll pay for parking, and then, like I said, potentially some food. And while we're there, we may hang out. If we go early enough, we could hang out with I have a friend that lives there, and so we could hang out with them potentially that day, but we'll have to see. But it will probably be an overnight stay because the concert will end later. And then next week, the week after that, I'm doing on the 27th a wine tasting with a friend. That's going to be our date for that day. And then I have a friend whose birthday is the 29th, and she's thinking about coming here. So if she comes here, that might be an added expense for us. But for the most part, as you can see, I just wanted to show my calendar of events. Before the month gets here, any month, I try to look at free events or cheap events and see anything that we can get into. But I just wanted to share what all I like to keep in mind when I'm creating an actual budget. So at this point, let's go and look at our actual budget. So I'm going into Notion, and let's talk about our goals and tasks first. Then we'll talk about the monthly budget, and then we'll talk about changes that I've made. So for the month of April, we're looking to save an additional $2,000. So when we were avidly working towards our financial goals, our investment goals, we were looking to invest an additional $2,000 per month. Well, right now we're not investing because we had a huge car repair at the beginning of the year, which cost well over $4,000. My husband's going back to work, and then there's something else. Oh, and then I had a medical bill. So right now we've halted our additional investing. And so until we kind of cover these costs, and then we will potentially get back to it. But of course, in April, we do have taxes due. So we'll talk about that in a minute. So our goal is to save $2,000 towards our financial goals. We also want to invest 15% of our paychecks, which is something that we aim to do each month, because in doing so, it really helps to set us up for our future and our future investment goals. We want to pay our monthly credit card bill, which is a no-brainer. And then we want to potentially register our truck. You guys know that registering our truck and adding the truck to our auto insurance has been a goal for a long time. But so long as the truck just sits in our driveway, I see no reason to register it or to insure it. So I'll keep you posted if that happens in April. We are going to save $225 towards our sinking funds, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a minute. If my friend comes down, I do want to get her a birthday gift. I don't really, unless I'm going to see the friend, or unless, I don't know, I'm kind of picky about birthday gifts. It's not a huge thing to me. What I would prefer to do is spend time with the person. So if she comes, I think I might get her a little gift, which might be maybe if she comes, she and I just go out to dinner or something like that. That's kind of what I'm thinking for her birthday gift. Or maybe we get her a cake or something. That's kind of what I'm thinking. We also are going to go to a brunch, for which I'll need to buy tickets. I didn't mention that. That's because I don't know when the brunch will be. But when we went to the brunch in March, he said that the organizer said the next one will be in April. So I'm just going to wait patiently for that. And then that'll be our date night for that week, if we can go. As you can see, we have some things going on in April. So we might not even be able to go, because I don't know when it'll be. But hopefully we'll be free and we'll be able to go. And typically it's on Sundays, which makes it more likely that we'll be able to go, because we normally don't have plans Sunday afternoon. I want to purchase my wine tasting ticket. That'll be for the date night with my other friend. Then we don't need to file our taxes. We need to pay our taxes. So I'm going to change that. We already filed our taxes. We need to pay them in the month of April. And I also need to purchase another ticket for an event that we will potentially go to. Those tickets are cheap. And then pay my medical bill potentially in April. I do have a medical bill, but I was thinking I would just pay it when I go back to my doctor's office. I need to reserve/pay for dog boarding potentially. Reserve our Atlanta hotel for the Lil Wayne concert. And then file for my per diem for work. Like I mentioned, I'll get a per diem amount. So I'll get a set amount to cover my lunch and my dinner and stuff like that. So I'll need to get, file that so I can get that money before taking the trip. And then I have reserved Savannah Hotel on here because my friend is coming here and she's visited us here before multiple times. But I was thinking that if she comes for her birthday, maybe we could take a day trip to Savannah, Georgia, since she's never been and since I love it. So I'm thinking that might be something that we do, but I don't really know about that as of right now. So let's talk about our actual monthly budget. Okay, so first up, we have car payment due on the 7th at $314.34. We have our gym membership due, which is new, by the way. We signed up for a gym membership in March, due on the 7th at $59. And because we work in education, we got our membership sign-up fee waived, and we get a $6 discount each month. So we're paying $59 for so many things. It's for both of us. We get access to an indoor track, indoor pool, outdoor pool. We can go to any of the facilities in this area. We can go to all the classes, any classes that they offer. We have access to childcare, which doesn't matter currently, but will in the future. We have access to so many things. So $59 for this is honestly a no-brainer, because I used to have a gym membership to this gym when I lived at home. And I think I paid like $45 or $50 just for myself. So this is an obvious no-brainer. But we have our phone bill due in the month of April at $270. So we are with Mint Mobile. And as I've mentioned before, we pay our bills in kind of whatever increments we want to pay it. So we might pay every 3 months. We might pay every 6 months. in April, I'm going to pay my bill up for a year, and I do have a slight discount. So if you were to sign up for Mint Mobile, you would probably notice that your yearly bill would be more than $270. That's because I have a couple of referral bonuses. So I'm going to pay my cell phone bill up for an entire year in the month of April, and that's going to save us a lot of money. Then we have electricity due at $82.46, which is amazing because we do live in Georgia, and our electricity bill is honestly not that high typically. So I'm not mad at that, but I'm honestly super impressed by it being $82.46. We have cable, which is through Sling TV, coming out on the 10th at $40. Pest control allegedly is going up 10% as of April 1st. So when I did the math, that gave us a total of $50 and some change. So I'm going to budget $51 for that. Mortgage is going to be $1,520.99. Water/sewer, I'm going to guesstimate and budget $55. Internet is going to be $71.54. Amazon Music, $15.99. We're not doing anything technically towards additional retirement. Security for our home is going to be $52.14. Life insurance for the both of us, $42.19. Pet insurance, $61.05. Netflix, $9.99. Investing, $80. That's going to be through Stash. We do invest through Stash, and the goal each year is by the end of each year, we'll have about $1,000. Last year was the first year we did that. I don't know what we did with the money exactly, but this year the plan is to use it for Q4. So it's going to be to use it for, I think we're going to host another wine tasting party, and it's going to be for Christmas gifts and stuff like that. So we should have about $1,000 at the end of this year in our Stash account, which technically is one of our investment accounts. So for sinking funds, we're going to save $225, and that's going to be towards about 5 different funds to include Walmart Plus, our car insurance, and stuff like that. And then we are going to save $2,000. So if you hop back up to shopping, what I'm budgeting for shopping is what is left after creating this budget, which is $1,549.31. So for shopping, that's going to include gas for our cars, date nights, my trip that I'm taking, our little trips that we're taking, dog boarding, groceries mainly, and literally anything that can't be captured in any of the other categories. Basically everything but saving and a bill. So that's what we're budgeting to spend in the month of April on shopping. Okay, so I want to show you my updated bill tracker, which looks a little chaotic. Basically what I have here is all of our bills, our monthly bills, our quarterly bills, our biannual bills, and our annual bills. So as an example, I have our Sirius XM in here, which is due every 6 months. And I have our Progressive car insurance in here due. I have all of our monthly bills due or whatever in here. I have our HOA fees, which are an annual expense, Capital One fee, credit card fee, which is an annual expense. I have everything that we spend money on in here. Now, what I'm trying to still work on is basically some of the configurations for this, because it's a little bit jacked up, but not too terribly jacked up. So whenever I bought this template, this Notion template, it allowed me to put in like monthly payments and yearly payments, I think, and stuff like that. But I'm trying to work out the annual payment. I need to figure out the formula for this, but that's another story for another day. You see a monthly category here, a monthly column, and a yearly column. So I'm trying to figure out how to make sense of the biannual situation and create a column for that, but that's another thing that I'm going to do at a later date. But these are all of our bills for the entire year. So I recently updated the Notion in March. I think this looks beautiful. I'm still working on it, but I wanted to share an accurate depiction of everything that we have going on. And I kind of just categorize this by the next payment. So these two are wonky, the Sirius XM and the Progressive, because they're biannual, and I need to figure out the formula for that. But otherwise, everything else is pretty on point and accurate. It's just the biannual ones that are the biannual bills that are a little jacked up, but everything else is pretty accurate. So I'm still working on that, but these are, it kind of shows our next payments and all of that for all of our, you know, bills and all of the things. So let me slide back up here. As you saw, the monthly budget is $6,500 here. That means that we are looking to bring in or pay ourselves $6,500. Now, I just want to share, we're not the perfect budgeters. I cannot predict the future. I cannot predict, honestly, too much of anything. Now, there are some things that I could predict, but there's a lot that I cannot predict, and I cannot predict everything. I would have never predicted our car repair that we had at the beginning of the year, but I try to prepare as best as I can. It doesn't take that much out of me. It takes maybe 30 minutes to really kind of hone in and really think about what expenses are coming up in the next month and that type of thing. So it doesn't take long at all, but I really try to prep as best I can. But I do need you to know that, you know, I'm not a miracle worker, and there are things that take place that I would have never imagined would take place. But all in all, this is what we are looking at bringing in and spending for the month of April. And if you remember from our 2023 budget, we are looking to pay ourselves $6,500 each month. And that's what we're hoping for in the month of April. Of course, if we earn more, that's more money that we can save and all of that. But of course, if an expense comes up that we haven't actually prepared for, then we'll have to spend the money on that. So it's kind of like, you know, it's a sticky situation, budgeting and managing finances. But I think that's the actual only real change that I made. I did actually upgrade our credit cards recently, which I'll talk about a little bit more as, you know, the weeks unfold. But I upgraded our credit cards, which means that we'll be earning more credit card rewards and points and all of that. So hopefully that little extra money that we're earning will help to get us ahead. I don't really know yet, but we'll have to see. But that is a major change that took place in the month of March. But for the most part, this is our budget for the month of April. So I hope that you guys found this helpful. If you did, give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and if you're liking what you're seeing. And I will catch you guys right back here in a few days in a brand new video. Bye guys.